Welcome, everybody. We're really excited you were able to come tonight. And to those of you who are here, we appreciate you being here. And for those of you who are going to watch it on our YouTube page or in the future, we appreciate you being here virtually then as well. It's my pleasure to welcome a person that I've gotten to work with and have become a good friend with, and that's Deidra Simon. Deidra Simon is the Executive Director of the Gainesville Opportunity Center. GOC's mission is to empower persons with mental illness to integrate into their communities through employment, education, and social opportunities. Deidra is a Gainesville native who moved to Jacksonville, Florida to pursue her passion for serving persons with disabilities. Deidra earned her bachelor's in public administration from Flagler College, is a certified professional in human resources management, and is pursuing a graduate certificate in nonprofit leadership from the University of Florida. Deidra enjoys reading, traveling, and relaxing with family and friends in her spare time. And so NAMI Gainesville friends and family of the special guest speaker series, please join me and give me a very, very extremely warm welcome to Deidra Simon. Welcome, Deidra.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I am going to share my screen. Before I do anything, I want to extend a thanks back to NAMI Gainesville. You guys are amazing. I call you all my work besties. You're the best. So I just absolutely love NAMI Gainesville. Thank you, Steve and Leanne, and all the rest. All right, so here we go. Let me get right to it. Let's have a little fun here. So I really want to set this up as a conversation, something that's easy for us and open for us, and we don't have too many people, so I want to encourage you all to really join in. But tonight's topic is allyship, inclusion and empowerment of persons with mental illness. And I hope that we're able to take away points, some we may already be familiar with, but things to share with others that we meet abroad. So like I mentioned, we'll have an introduction. I like to keep things in order. We'll have a discussion on allyship and how you can help, and how the GOC lives out allyship. And then in the end, we'll summarize it all, and we'll have some questions and answers and comments. All right, so again, Stephen did share some things about me, but I'll just reiterate who I am. I've been working with persons with disabilities for nearly 20 years. In my past life, I was a deaf advocate. I served youth with disabilities, and now I'm in nonprofit leadership. I am married, and I have an 8-year-old. He's a very bubbly boy, very bubbly. And for fun, I follow my husband around. He points at a map, and I want to go here, and we go. And so we travel in our spare time, and we absolutely have a great time. So that's a little bit about me. So I really want to do an icebreaker to kind of get us all in the discussion mood. If you can use your chat, if you can, I would like to know, what is your mood? If you can place an emoji to describe how are you feeling right now? Kind of blah, kind of sad, kind of meh. I was more like before the presentation. So share with us in the chat. I want to see how you all are doing. Happy. I see some contentment. Any more? And it's important for me to check in with you all. And if you can't find an emoji, you can type in, I'm okay, I'm happy, I'm good. If you have any, that's fine. I don't see any, but other than 2. So someone might be sad. And the reason why this is important for me, because again, I want to check in with you. It's very important that we are connected. And my goal is, even if you're not thrilled and excited and happy, I hope by the end of this presentation, we're more connected and that you leave a little bit happier than you came, or you stay happy. All right, thank you. Tired, amen. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, I love it. Happy, thank you all for sharing. All right. Let's see if we can move on. All right, so our primary goals for tonight, and my goal with you all, is to increase allyship for persons who live with severe and persistent mental illness, and also create space for more inclusion for persons who live with mental illness. That is my goal, keeping it simple. And then I'll add a little bit more what you can expect. Again, this is a safe space. We're going to share our thoughts. The presentation will be open. It's only a few of us here. That's perfect. Open discussion. If you have any questions or thoughts, please ask them. And I have a link here. You probably can't access it immediately, but afterwards you'll be able to access this presentation. If you want to share it out with anyone, please do so. And here is my email. My email is deidra@goclubhouse.org. I have that there if you want to connect with me, email me, or tell me about this presentation, anything. My email is here. All right, so let me go on. Okay, so now it's time for us to do a little talk. Allyship. So can someone tell me what you believe allyship means to you? And you can come, I don't know, Stephen is in control of how we do it, but you can come off mute or you can post in the chat, whatever you're comfortable with. And I'll do like I do my people at GLC, like this doesn't work unless we work together. So you gotta share. Yeah, you can, okay, Monique, can you come off mute and share with us?
I can, I believe I can.
Yes, awesome.
So I look at the word ally. Ally means someone who is fully supportive of another group. And so allyship would be like a friendship, but friendships are, I guess, communal bonds. So just an ally means fully supportive, and try to put ourselves in the shoe of the person who we're supporting.
I love it. Any other thoughts?
I think of an ally as somebody who is kind of supportive, but also like mutually supported, like adopted by a community, where it's like, you're not one of us, but you are one of us.
I love it.
You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I thought of when I saw ally. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yes. Any other thoughts before we go on? These are better than the real definition also. They're really good.
Alliance.
Alliance. I love it. So let me move my little bar out of the way. I'm so sorry. I'm not a professional at. I'm not a pro. So to define allyship, the dictionary says it's the quality or practice of helping or supporting other people who are a part of a group that is treated badly or unfairly, although you are not a member of this group. So we think about, and when I did some research on it, the first thing that, really comes up is diversity and inclusion. And as you see the pictures here, you think of people of color when you think of diversity and inclusion, people with disabilities, people who are a part of the LGBTQ plus community. We know those are obvious places where there's support given to people who may be treated badly, but we need to go a step further and also include people who have mental illness, right? And that's why we're having this discussion tonight. We need it beyond the groups we know about and in the mental illness space. So why mental health? So we know, we all know, because we're with NAMI, GLC, we're living this life. And so we understand the stigmas that are attached to mental illness, and that they reduce inclusion. They keep people out of access to communities and beyond. And if left ignored, if we ignore that support and ignore mental illness and we just push it over there, the people who have mental illness, they're not able to heal, they're not getting better, their lives are interrupted, their independence is stifled. So there are many risks to not facing and treating and caring for and standing up for people who have mental illness. And I just sincerely believe, and that's why I do the work that I do, that narrative needs to change. And we're going to be the ones to do it on this call and beyond. Okay, so my friends at NAMI, they have great information. So I had to copy paste. So let's look at the mental health by the numbers, because in my world, and it may be the same in yours, I ran into people who, I don't know anybody who has it. I don't know anybody. Let's be clear. The numbers here say that 1 in 5 adults experience mental illness. 1 in 20 experience severe or serious mental illness. That is quite a few people close to home. And then mental illness can be impacted by something that you're going through and things of that nature. So let me go on, because I'm talking a little fast. I'm getting excited. So I want to step back and slow myself down before I get too excited. Can you tell me what you believe causes mental illness? Miss Sherry, come on off of mute.
There's environmental and relationship triggers and happenings.
Okay, what else? Any other
Biology.
thought?
Bio.
Biology. Okay, good. So
Trauma.
let's trauma. So let's go to the CDC because it touches on that. There is no one cause for why a person has mental illness. All of what you said is here: trauma, history of abuse. You could be born without a mental illness, but you're born into situations where you experience terrible things that can affect your mental health. Being sick for a long time, having a severe illness can impact your mental health. What's also not on here, even if you're caring for someone who is sick, that could impact your mental health. Biological factors, chemical imbalances in the brain. Of course, we hear about alcohol and drugs quite often, and we know that abuse of substances can cause mental illness. But how about loneliness, isolation? That could also create mental illness. So there are numerous factors. And if we're really honest and we look at life, a lot of people who claim to not know anybody who has mental illness have probably experienced a mental illness at some point in their own life, because a lot of us go through things, right? So I try to say everybody is included in this number. Okay, so I chose a little video to stop me from talking. It's 2 minutes long, and I want to share it with you, and I hope that you'll be able to share with others. If that's okay, I'll just play it really quickly. It's 2 minutes, about breaking the stigma.
You know that feeling where your thoughts scare you or make life tough? Sometimes it feels like no one else in the world has those thoughts or feelings. No one seems to know how difficult it is to deal with your feelings. And it's not easy to share your deepest secrets. You might think something is wrong with you. Or you might worry what other people think. And all of that makes your thoughts and feelings worse. Our culture has created this environment of shame. Until the 1960s, society sent people away if they had challenges managing their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Over time, we learned that we didn't have to be afraid. We learned how to help people get better. We became hopeful. But there are remnants of those images in our culture today, which is why some people still feel uncomfortable talking about it. The stigma has taken new forms too. With more access to more people all the time, it can seem like the world is telling us it's not okay to be anything but perfect. The truth is, everyone has thoughts or feelings that can be hard to deal with. So why do we make it so difficult on ourselves by judging others who could be going through the same challenges we are? What if, instead of seeing labels, we saw people who are struggling and could be there for them so they didn't feel so alone? What if we looked past our fear of mental health and started to talk about it in a constructive way? What if, as a society, we used empowering words and healthy images to help people feel supported? Maybe then more of us could feel comfortable telling others when we're having a hard time. Maybe more people would get the help they need. And maybe one day we won't have to talk separately about mental health and physical health, but just health. The truth is, each of us has the power to change our culture. Will you join us? Share this video with a kid, your neighbor, a friend, and help us break the stigma of mental health.
So there is 3 types of stigma mentioned in psychiatry on psychiatry.org. Public stigma, self-stigma, and institutional stigma, right? So with public stigma, that is what we probably are all aware of, and that is people believing that people who have mental illness are dangerous. We don't want to bring that person over here that they could start. We have this negative and fear concept of people who have mental illness. And then there's the self-stigma. a person looking at themselves saying, perhaps I did have a time where I acted out, or I yelled at this person, or this happened. Maybe I am dangerous. Maybe this mental illness is my fault. And then there's institutional stigma, where within the system, there are barriers rather to people who have mental illness. You can't necessarily go out and get jobs. If you start off with the conversation of, I have a mental illness, there are systemic barriers that exist. So stigma also leads to discrimination, right? So if that stigma is there, again, in the public, not really hired for jobs. You're not really given the best health care. You just get the run-of-the-mill health options, or you may not know, you may not have anyone to help advocate and help you navigate that area. You continue with self-discrimination. You hate yourself. You feel like, why do I exist? Why do I try? I'm never going to get better. I'm going to always be this way. And then there's the institutional side, where there are barriers again in the system. So some people concentrate, not people, but let's say agencies, they may put mental health services in the bigger cities, not in the rural areas. And it's harder for people who live with mental illness to get access to the medical and therapy and the support that they need. And so there is discrimination and stigma throughout this. Okay. So how can we begin to change the narrative? I want to hear from you. How can we see these things that are happening? We know the stigma exists. What are your thoughts on how we can change it? How can we make it better? How can we stand as allies? Marie?
I think that for one thing, the rules and like the decision making on mental health is like only for psychiatrists and things like that. And I think we should include people with mental health issues in making that people work together. Everyone's voice should be heard in like things that have to do with mental health rules and I don't know, like I think that when people talk about how to make stigma less for mental health, it's people who don't have mental health issues, and whenever people are making rules about anything, people that don't have mental health issues, and I think that they don't value mental health people's opinion, so everyone should be included.
Everybody should be included. I love it. Any other thoughts? Ms. Sherry, did you raise your hand? I mean, I saw it.
I'm just swinging it.
Oh.
Education's always the best thing. I mean, it's the same way a child that doesn't hear in elementary school, a teacher or it should be educating in sign language. So there's a communication, but by
Yes.
educating the public like NAMI does,
Yes.
for example.
Yes, very good. So again, our friends at NAMI, you guys got some wonderful resources, right? That's why we love you. You all share some wonderful tips, which I wanted to share with everyone. To your point, Marie. Oh, go ahead, Marie.
I just wanted to say, even my psychiatrist, I've had psychiatrists since I was 14 years old. They're not as well educated as they should be. They get the medical and like education, but they don't have anything to do with mental health people personally on a personal level. They just want to like make control everybody's lives. It's my life. I'll say it, speak for myself. They just want to control my life and course me and everything else, and they don't really get me really.
I love it.
Deidra, I
And so
think
I'm going to piggyback off of what you're saying here.
I think we had a couple other people that wanted to weigh in. I'm not sure though.
Yes, please.
So this is Monique. I was just thinking like just be an advocate. So like when someone is saying something negative, and this happened in my family, actually I have family that's in California, and I believe this family member has some mental health issues. And so even when she references mental health or people with mental illness, she's very tries to support the dismissiveness with facts. And so I think advocating and kind of presenting the facts is another way to kind of get someone's brain kind of out of a certain mindset by giving them information. So it's kind of like educating socially, I would say,
Yes.
to advocate.
Yes, Monique, thank you. Before I go on, because y'all are hitting the nail on the head, perfect. But I'll share if no one else has anything, what the tips are, and they're all of what you said. Having contact first. Do you have any friends? Do you know anyone with a mental illness before you're able to talk about it? And this is my thing is covering it, but stand up for it. Stand up for the thought and the message of mental illness. You can share online information from NAMI, GOC, wherever you find it, share it out, that promotes anti-stigma. Educate yourself and others. Learn more about it. Show compassion to persons with mental illness. We often deal with, in my world, we have to extend compassion because we're working side by side every day. And people with mental illness and without, we don't always have a perfect day. But we want you to know that you may not have had a good day today, but we're going to be here tomorrow and we're waiting on you and we need you tomorrow. So extending that compassion is very important. And then, Leanne, I see a hand raised. Yes.
I would say my input is lead by example in breaking the stigma. Use your voice, bring up a topic. If somebody says something, make it okay to carry on that conversation. Make it a safe space.
100%. And that piggybacks on to choosing empowerment over shame. It is time for us not to push mental illness. And I can speak, I'm a member of the Black community. And I can proudly say that we didn't grow up talking about mental illness. We were a part of that stigma. You went over there with that. But it's time to change that narrative across the board. So choosing empowerment, talking about it, promoting it, I love it. That's it. So let's move on. So the best way that we can be allies, and this was actually for me, the best way that we can be allies, of course, leading by example to your point, Leanne, but to take care of us, take care of ourselves. That is the best way. Remember the factors that could cause mental illness if you're constantly caring for others, you're busy and stressed, many burdens, then you will not probably be the strongest ally that a person who is dealing with mental illness may need. And this is something I threw in as fun. I did not pass this. So this is like a self-care bingo, right? So you get this presentation and you can even print this out. And I want you to check off the boxes and see if you get bingo. Have you cared for yourself? Have you danced? Have you spent time in nature? Did you take a nap? Did you brush your teeth? Did you stretch? And of course, you'll say, well, I got this and that and that and this. But for me, I'm super busy like everybody else, and I can check all the boxes. So that means that I am not in the best position, even though my job calls for me to, and my life and passion for me, I need to monitor my self-care. So, make it a fun activity. Like, okay, let me make sure I could check off these boxes here that I did something for myself today. It's very important to engage in self-care. All right, so let's talk about practicing allyship. These are the thoughts about practicing allyship, and I would invite you to share more. This is additional research about ways that we can do it. And the first one is my favorite. Listen. And to your point, Marie, many people who have mental illness don't want to go to a counselor or therapist because they might not listen and they want to fix immediately. Well, go do this and listen. And in our world in GOC, I have individuals who may have schizophrenia and they want to talk to me about whoever they might have in the room. And guess what I'm gonna do? Okay. Yes, sir. They're in the room. We listen, we show respect, and we honor the feelings of persons with mental illness. And this is one thing I try to tell people. People with mental illness know whether you're genuine or not. And they know immediately. They might have a mental illness, but they are in no means disconnected from it. They know. So you have to be, respectful and honor what they're talking about and be unconditional. There is no off day for your love for a person with mental illness. You may have to take a break. You might say, we need to separate for a while. Let me straighten this out. But that love should always be there. Don't enforce your opinion. Don't tell them what they need to do to fix their life. You need to align with them and help them and offer suggestions, but don't dictate. And then we're going to make mistakes on both sides of this, right? So I apologize to the staff, everybody. I'm like, oh, I may have done this or did that. And I feel it's very important to be human in this experience. And if you mess up, or let's say you say a term that's not appropriate for mental illness in that world, you can say, oh, I'm so sorry. Next time I'll make sure to use this language, or you teach me what I need to be saying and help me understand. And here's a big one. When we are allies with persons with mental illness, we have to be careful not to put too much of our personal burdens on them. We can't come and they're already dealing with enough, right? And so as an ally, we want to be conscious of that. Like, I don't want to go call and cry on this person's shoulder for 2 hours. They are working on their mental health, and that's why I have to work on mine. Any other comments or thoughts towards how we can practice allyship? No, got it covered? Okay.
It's all covered.
Thank you, Ms. Monique. And so again, these actions help create a safe space and foster healing. So really quickly, because I don't want to talk you to death, I want to introduce the GOC. I'm sure many of you have heard about us, the Gainesville Opportunity Center. Marie's on, and Marie, you can chime in at any time. But I'll talk quickly about what we do and how we live this out. We are a clubhouse for persons who live with mental illness. We follow what they call the clubhouse model, and it is designed to help people join a community and then improve their mental health as they work alongside staff and other members. And we focus on a person's strengths and abilities. They come when they can, they do the work that they can, and they build friendships along the way. And then I want to talk about who we are. So we are part of a worldwide organization, an international organization in Florida. To bring it down to just the state, there are 18, but as you see on this map, the highest one is Gainesville, which is right here, GOC. And then there are none in Jacksonville, St. Augustine, there's nothing that way. So there's more work to be done, right? More communities need places like the GOC. We are a part of the recovery-oriented system of care, which means we are an option. We are not you need to go here, you be forced to go here. We are an option. So you can choose to come and be with us. It's a voluntary experience. We are non-clinical. So within the GOC, we don't administer medicine to you. We don't have therapists come in and conduct any services. We are completely without any type of clinical influence, and we are accredited. So we follow a certain standard and practice to provide our service. And just to quickly touch on the program, we have several things that we offer. The primary portion of it is the work order day. And our goal is to help our members build up stamina to want to step out in life and engage in self-care and take care of themselves. So we have an organized day that they can participate in to do work alongside with us. And let's say they want to go back to work, they're ready to return to the working world. We assist them with employment, education. We have partnerships with Santa Fe College and also with the University of Florida. We have tutors that come out, and we also have programs at Santa Fe that they enter into if they want to engage in education. We also have fun. So we are open on the holidays because we have what I have learned in recent term is elder orphans, individuals who don't have family. They're adults, older adults, but they don't have anyone living with them and they deal with isolation. So we don't close on the holidays. We open on the holidays. And you can come we just had, I think it was Labor Day, and they had a cookout. So we do that with the purpose to create community. And then we also have wellness. Wellness is a very important aspect of what we do. We want you to be healthy. We know how important it is to have the mind, the body, the soul, all of that healing. So we focus on your wellness as well through healthy meals, activities. We try to keep everybody really engaged. And then quickly, this is the team. So you have me, you have Brett, who is here in the black shirt, Caitlin in the red, dark red, we have Mia, and we have Robert, Christina, and Paul. We are a small team. It's only 7 of us. And we may add one more in the future, maybe a driver, but we're purposely understaffed because we want to tell our members, we need you. We can't run the house without you, so come, please. And we really do need them. I got a stack of papers. I really do need, we need them. So, and then the most important part is our members. And I have no words here, no caption, no slogan, because I want people to see that they're just regular people. They're our neighbors, they're our friends, they're our family. They're regular people and they help us. They help us run our house. They help us with our marketing and tabling events. They cook meals, they engage in Special Olympics. They're just people who are on their path to recovery. And we just absolutely love them. And that's why, we're having this conversation today to reduce more of that stigma. So to almost wrap it up, our clubhouse standards, they are worldwide. So if you go to any clubhouse, we should all be following the same standards and have the same focus on helping persons with mental illness to recover through their community. We engage in training. More specifically, they will send new hires away for 2 weeks to go be immersed with people who live with mental illness. And we also have more training along the way once they return. So we're constantly learning and studying how to be better at our jobs. And then most importantly, we work on building positive relationships, supporting our members and them supporting us. And we're side by side. That culture is side by side, very open culture. And it's all built to produce that allyship, to show that, hey, I'm in line with you, I'm with you, and you're also included. You're able to share my space and I need you in my space. And that creates room for empowerment, right? And they get, the other side of that is they get, they get their empowerment, they get their lives going, and then they leave us to go do great things. And then we need more members to come in and help us. So in summary, each one of us can practice allyship. Number one, by caring for our own selves, making sure we stay well. We learn more and we try to understand mental illness, become friends, really connect with persons who have mental illness, stand against stigmas and discrimination, and support organizations like NAMI, support organizations like GOC. And I think that's how we can really be true allies. So that is the end of me talking. And I want to open up the floor if there's any comments or questions or any other thoughts you would like to add. And thank you. Thank you so very much for your time. But I can sit here for any questions. Monique?
Yes, I had a question. And this is because I was doing some research on GOC years ago for a loved one. Is there like is there some way for someone to move through the program, be a member, work gainfully, and then maybe come back and share some of their skills or other things with the GOC later on? Is that a possibility?
Oh, yes. So what we try to promote is once a member, always a member. And so our goal is for you to do exactly what you just described. Go be successful and be great, but stay, connected to us. Let us be your community, and you're going to come back and inspire members to go do great things. It happens all the time. So yes, they are never, unless they decide like, I don't need the services anymore, I'm okay. That's always their choice. But yes, the door is always open to them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? No? Oh, Leanne? Yes. I think I can't
Yeah,
hear
you're
you. Is it
muted.
me?
I think y'all have been waiting all night for me to say that. You just unmuted me. What kind of fundraising does GOC participate in to help the club continue to be funded?
Oh my gosh. We write grants. We have received grants from the city of Gainesville, Alachua County. We also focus on our donors, so unrestricted funds to help us operate. So the door is always open. We're always searching for various funding to support us. But would you like something more specific than that?
No, just general information. And though I will say, please pass on any of your events to our webmaster, Mr. Stephen
Mr.
McCormick, so
Stephen,
he
is a
can help
Getting ready to have fall festival.
get that out there.
Yes. Is November the 3rd? Is that right, Marie?
I don't remember the date, but just to add, we do bike week, we do car washes, we do the fall festival, we do a lot of things like that as well. But fall festival is coming up.
Yes, it is. Thank
Well,
you,
we
Marie.
would be happy to market that in both our newsletter and on our website. So please keep us posted.
I'm gonna give that to our member Marie. If you can
There you go.
connect with our media team, because that's how we do it.
Yeah.
So we
Sounds
need our
good.
members. So yeah, and then we can spread the word. We'd love to have you all come.
That would be wonderful.
Okay, well,
I have a question, Deidra,
yes, Stephen.
if I may. So what does membership look like? The membership process, like applying to become part of GOC, like if somebody wanted to do that, how would they go about that? And what does that process look like? How long does it take? Does it cost anything? Like that kind of thing? What are the
Wonderful question. So membership, of course, you have to have a diagnosed mental illness. What we try to do is have you come in for a tour, so you can see the clubhouse, and that way you make a decision on whether this is a place you really want to be. We want to get away from forcing people, right? And then after that, you say, okay, yes, I think I'd like to be a part of this. We give you information that you complete. We do conduct a local screening, just a background, because we also want to promote safety. And then once that's done and your basic information is filled out, you start an orientation. And we just teach you about the program, you learn the process, you decide where you want to work. Do you want to work in culinary? Do you want to work in the media unit? And so you decide, and then you get attached with a buddy, and then you go on from there. And again, membership is as long as you want the service, as long as you want to be a part of the community. And we've had members.
Don't you also have?
Oh, go ahead, Marie. Go ahead.
I was just saying, don't you also have to be referred there by a doctor or a social worker or a police officer or something?
So that's in the referral paperwork, yes, ma'am. And that will confirm. And I will say that we have that because of our funding. We have to prove that we're serving individuals who actually have mental illness. And we have had people come in that say, I don't have a mental illness, but I want to be a part. But we don't want to give that space to someone who actually needs it. So yes, it has to be a referral. Or if you learn about us and you want to walk in, we will still say, well, go back to your doctor or therapist and just have them to fill out this portion. So yes, that is absolutely correct.
Hi, I popped in here late, but my name is Dr. Dale. I was listening and I agree with everything. I am the head of HR over at Meridian. I think we work with you guys, Meridian Behavioral Healthcare.
Yes, ma'am.
And I was interested because I was interested in NAMI like from years ago, and this was the perfect time, and working in mental health and being around the entire population and kind of giving back, right? So I decided, okay, my organization is a part of it, but me individually, I want to do as much as I can do as well. And I did my research on the entire concept of emotional intelligence, and that's pretty much the makeup of the mental health, not the clinical side, like you mentioned,
Right.
Deidra, but definitely the everything else, all of the above, right? And you mentioned, I love what you said about the self-care for you. Yes, you are helping these individuals, right? But you taking care of you to make sure that you are in the good mental space and in the position to be able to help the other people that you're reaching out to. So I love the fact that you said that. So I'll definitely be reaching out to see how I can join from a personal standpoint.
We'd love to be connected to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And I love your name. It's long and beautiful. I'm not going to mispronounce it, but I love it. Thank you. And thank you all. I don't know if anyone else has anything to share out, but I'm just like bubbling. I'm so excited to have connected with you, and I'm just honored to be in this space. So thank you.
Deidra, we're happy to have you. NAMI is so proud of the GOC and our community partner in you. So thank you for coming this evening and participating. And thank you all for participating.
Yes, yes. Thank you, everyone. Stephen, thank you for being on the controls.
My pleasure. I am honored, please.
Marie, thank you. Monique, and we had Sherry. I can't see her,
Sherry's
but
there.
thank you all.
I'm here.
Sherry's still with us.
Thank you. Well, Stephen, I'll
Awesome.
turn it back over to you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks everybody for coming. Deidra, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, it's your email, the website. Is that the best way to get in contact if they want to join, if they want to donate, if they want to volunteer, if they want to help out, they want to, all those things?
All those things, all those
Awesome.
things. And of course, I live on my email. So if you really want a fast response, it's connected to my hip. So yeah, just definitely reach out to me, and I look forward to connecting with you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. GOC is such a special place in our hearts, and we're so proud to be partners with them. And we love tabling next to them, and we call them our besties too. And we just are really excited about getting to work with them. So please go out and check out their website, check out the facility, contact them, see what's going on, tell your friends. It's a beautiful diamond in our community that I'm very proud to have and to be a part of, and to say that I get to work with. So thank you everybody for coming tonight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. And also thank you so much to all of you who are going to be watching this video in the future. If you have any questions, reach out to us, and we'll be happy to connect you with whatever we can.
So
Thank you, Deidra, and everybody.
thank you so much. Thank you all.